you're right, there is a danger to it, but the great thing about synchronicity is the danger self-terminates. As soon as you start leaving the path, you know, like the amplification thing starts to fade, and you're left just like kind of like with fragments, and you're like, what happened? I don't know what happened, you know.
Well, I have a very interesting synchronistic story, maybe for another time. That was the teaching was to be more discerning about synchronicities, and in that sense of like looking for something, like having an attitude of like, where is it? And then the synchronicity itself ended up being like, yeah, that's be cautious
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, of course, because there is that tendency to read into it, and you can really get lost. Like I think there's a danger, especially for people who have a predisposition to mental illness, where they also generally are more open to genuine synchronistic phenomena, and that's part of the difficulty of their illness. Is that's part of what the doctor wants to kind of say this is not real. You know what I mean? Which is hard if they're like, nah, man, that part's definitely real. You know, that's really difficult then to get them, convince them that they are in fact ill, even if they are. But there's that difficulty of, you know, if you're prone to a mental illness and you start to dabble in synchronicity, it's easy for that to get out of hand and for you to start to accrue baggage, conceptual and emotional baggage that isn't related so much to what the synchronicity is teaching you so much as it's related to what you'd really like to hear, say, or what you'd, you know, what you're like, what you imagine is the ideal solution to your problems, and then that's what you read the synchronicity as, and that really gets you into trouble a lot of the time.
What about you, Matt? Do you have a kind of relationship, a particular relationship with synchronicity in your experience?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, yes, of course, but I don't have an understanding of it, though. I mean, that's why I'm absolutely fascinated by, you know, what you're saying here. But you know, for me, it seems to be it suggests that there is some kind of telos, you know, that transcends me.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And I did it. But I wanted to ask about that, because you could still look at this just as an individual experience, couldn't you? You could say, well, this is just my story, and these synchronicities is the way I represent my deep questions, or my struggles, or my shadow, or you know, these
Sure, yeah.
things swimming under the surface, as we discussed earlier. Or you could say, well, actually, no, you know, as Mike Levin was suggesting, it's kind of like a higher order sort of communication. You need to be doing this, right?